Hi, my name is Shannon, and I'm Willamette Week's music and visual arts editor. I'm here today with Erin Boberg and Kristan Kennedy, who, among many other things, are curators for TBA Festival here in Portland. Kristan and Erin, I imagine things are a little crazy today. First, you had to move the whole festival online, and now you're dealing with canceling stuff due to air quality. So, yeah, how have the last few days been for you two?
I think all of us went through a lot of the kind of stages of grief that, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross puts out, like, denial, fear, acceptance. What are all of those things? And it was actually, to me, it felt really similar to the beginning of the pandemic when we were deciding, like, oh no, what's going on? How serious is it? When do we need to cancel or postpone? What do we need to do to be safe? And because we work really collaboratively with artists, that also means being in conversation with them and following their lead. So, people are at different, when we saw it coming and we knew this, kind of forest fire and smoke situation was coming into the city, we're really concerned about the most vulnerable people in our community first. We work a lot with several mutual aid projects that we support sort of behind the scenes with PICA. So we're in touch with a lot of the folks who are doing direct mutual aid. That was one of the first things on our mind. And balancing that with the work of the artists who have been working so long to on their plans to do these already modified projects because of COVID. So, of course, we wanted to support them in moving forward and just weighing that like safety and community care. So yeah, we've all felt a lot of things, I'm sure, like everyone else has. And I feel really grateful to be part of a team because when one person's, freaking out, it's their turn. We can help support them and, maybe, bring them an air filter or, some herbs to steam in their house or something like that. And yeah, we kind of all take turns in that way. So yeah.
I would say also it lines up with some of the things that people are already talking about in the festival. There is a lot, many of the artists are addressing kind of the results of settler colonization and, economic, personal, political disaster. So some of the work is really, important to be watching and to continue supporting. And, we did have a performance right before the fires started to, blow the winds down to Portland with two artists, Demian Denayaji and Kevin Holden, called Shatter. And while we all were kind of adapting that day, like, let's shorten the tech schedule so that our tech people don't have to be in the building for 12 hours and the artists don't have to be there. We made these, quick moves. I think for the artists, it was, really, they were experiencing everything we were, fear and worry about their extended communities and the land. And they felt like it was really important to go ahead with that particular performance that night.
So I'm wondering, could you talk about the process of moving the whole festival online and setting it up for live streaming? What were some of the logistics that you had to figure out to make that possible?
Sure. Yeah, we are still figuring it out and learning something every time we do a live stream. The technology that we're using just wasn't set up for art or performance. So, all of the artists are repurposing things like Zoom, which everybody knows pretty well now, I think, and Eventive and other platforms that were really created for business. So we're kind of hacking them to be more appropriate for art, which, artists are constantly inventing and finding new ways to use things. So there's some exciting, things that are happening. The artists, the moment we start using something, they want to push the edges of what's possible. So that's kind of exciting. For us, we're still also just learning what is possible and asking all those questions. And really it is in a collaborative conversation with the artists. From the beginning, you know, we had some large scale theatrical performances that we just decided in conversation with the artist to say, you know, we're going to pay you, keep your commission, and just work on the project, and we'll do it when it's ready, you know, when we can do it in its way. Other artists were really interested in pivoting and doing something digitally now. So it was a lot of conversation.
Point, are you guys just crossing your fingers for no more disasters?
Yeah, I mean, it again.
I think the whole world needs a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, at this point, I think all of us are really thinking about the big picture and our, you know, small part in it. You know, this art festival, it's meaningful to the artists who are involved, and we want to keep, you know, everyone in our close, you know, community safe and healthy in all the ways, including culturally, you know, so remaining in contact with each other and sharing what we can in terms of art and culture can be really important and restorative and, you know, helpful. But it's also like, it's essential, but it's not as essential as, you know, air. So we're really, you know, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So that's really number one on our minds right now. And you know, the air is going to get better in a while, but we'll still have a lot of systemic issues, and you know, everything's coming up. The pandemic will still be there. The election is still looming. So lots of work with artists, and yeah, we're just really sending our energy to everyone to do what they can to take care of themselves and anybody they can. And luckily, our theme for this festival was "Take Your Time," and I don't think any of us kind of saw this extra layer of the fire coming on to that. But you know, we knew going into it that folks are really called to do lots of different things with their time right now, including taking care of themselves, their family, their community, participating in protest, in resistance, and all kinds of mutual aid.
While we're all experiencing discomfort and at times displacement and rescheduling and things, it's really to look at the root of what's causing this and address that rather than our own you know, temporary inconvenience. You know, this is much bigger than that. So what I'm really excited about is that a lot of the work is online, it's free, it's accessible, and so there's a really low barrier for entry until the 30th. And there's a lot of time to take care of yourself and then tap in when you're ready.